Hello, and welcome to another session with Sleepy Time Stories. Today we will be reading Mode and Grand Mode by Sara O'Leary, illustrated by Kennard Pack. Mode and Grand Mode. By Sara O'Leary, illustrated by Kennard Pack. On special Saturdays, Mode goes to Grand Mode's house and doesn't go home until Sunday. Mode worries a little about leaving her parents on their own, but Grand Mode says she thinks they'll be all right. Grand Mode has made Mode a nightgown for the nights she sleeps over. The nightgown goes all the way to the floor and is made out of plaid flannel and is softer than anything. But what makes the nightgown special is that Grand Mode has made herself one to match. Once Mode and Grand Mode have put on their nightgowns, they are ready to have breakfast for supper. No matter what you like to eat for breakfast, it somehow always tastes better at supper time, says Mode. Because it is just the two of them, they eat their breakfast for supper on trays in the living room and watch movies. They will watch any kind of movie as long as it is in black and white. Was everything black and white when you were small? Mode asks. What do you think? Says Grand Mode. Mode pictures her grandmother as a little girl. Oh yes, she says. When it is time for bed, Mode sleeps in the same room as Grand Mode because there are twin beds and one of them is just for Mode. The bed is a special bed, not just because Mode always has good dreams when she sleeps in it, though she always does. The bed is special because there is an old wooden chest underneath, and there is always something new for Mode placed inside, even when Grand Mode doesn't know she will be visiting. Sometimes the chest holds something bought from a shop, like a toy or a treat, or a set of watercolor paints. Even better, the chest may hold something Grand Mode has made for Mode, like a sweater or a pair of mittens, or some cookies to take home so the time between visits is sweeter. Best of all is when the chest has something from when Grand Mode was a little girl herself. One time, the chest held a stone shaped like a heart. I carried that in my pocket for 1 whole year, said Grand Mode. It went everywhere I went. Mode is happy to carry it in her own pocket wherever she goes now. Another time, there was a picture of Grand Mode riding an elephant. You never told me you rode on an elephant, said Mode. You never asked, said Grand Mode. This time, there is a book of fairy tales with Mode's name written in cursive inside it. This book has my name in it, says Mode. I wasn't Grand Mode until you were born, says Grandmother. Once upon a time, I was just Mode. Before Mode goes to sleep, Grand Mode sits on the next bed and dims the light. She then asks Mode questions about what she thinks her life will be like. When I grow up, says Mode, I'm going to write the kind of stories that go in books. But they will all be happy stories. Some will be about people, and some might be about cats. Will you have children? Asks Grandmode. Oh, yes, 7 children. 7, says Grandmode. At least 7, says Mode. And we will live in a very tall house so that the children can have bunk beds that go up and up and up. And then, one day, you will have a granddaughter of your own, says Grandmode. Mode smiles into the dark. When Mode falls asleep, she dreams that she is Grandmode and lives in an apartment building and has a bedroom with twin beds. And in the dream, she is just waiting for one of the Mode's special visits. Thank you for joining us for another session with Sleepy Time Stories. This was Mode and Grandmode. Sweet dreams!